Hey, Kevin.
Hey, we're on.
Yeah, we're on. You know how we love our listeners.
Some of them. No, I'm kidding. I love each and every one of you.
That's a great way to get people involved. No, we love our listeners, and every episode we encourage folks to reach out to us at terryfinallybeautiful@gmail.com.
Yeah, I tell people just to go to your house.
No, I actually gave my address out, didn't I, one episode?
Oh, you almost did.
Oh, God.
If you listen very closely to that recording, I'm blinking it out in Morse code.
Oh, God.
So go back and just keep
don't show
listening
up.
to it.
Don't show up. Well, we do love to hear from listeners, and we have an email submission, and again, we would love to read all the email submissions. We just can't, right? Because as Kevin said, we're kind of lazy, but sometimes we get an email and it kind of like just makes us laugh, or it strikes a chord with us, and we just have to read it.
Yeah. So keep sending them to terrifyinglybeautiful@gmail.com.
Yes, please do. So we have a submission that I just loved. It's from Lindsay.
Okay.
So this is going to be an interesting one because I think about this all the time.
Oh, boy.
So I'll read the email. So it says, "This is real for me. Have always driven me crazy anytime someone starts talking about how the atmosphere is infinite. The sky goes on forever, ... Literally. What? No. Stop." In big, bold letters.
Oh, she's one of us.
Yeah. And so she goes on and says, "I have to leave the room and watch The Real Housewives or something to get my mind off of it. It freaks me out to imagine that it has to stop somewhere. But even if it did, what's on the other side?" Okay.
The Real Housewives is pretty scary, too.
Well, yeah. But so, Lindsay, we are literally on the same page on this topic because when I start thinking about how enormous the universe is, and as an example, I often think about, okay, so, and this happens a lot of times when I'm outside at night, right, kind of staring at the stars, and you kind of think about, okay, so if you had a little travel vehicle, like a little spaceship, whatever, and you just set off,
your own travel spaceship,
and you just set off, right?
Okay. Like Lance Bass.
I mean, how far could you possibly go?
I mean, I guess our atmosphere on Earth does end, right? There's like levels of it, like ozone. I think
we're talking about space.
Diagram.
Really. I think you meant space.
So like the vastness of space. Yeah, it is the final frontier, David.
Oh my God, I knew you were going to put this kind of Star Trek thing, but I mean,
that is a scary thought.
You hear about like these, the data coming back from the Hubble telescope, right? And you have all these like billions of universes and galaxies outside of our own, but then what's beyond that?
Right. Does it like loop
Do you hit a
back
wall?
around?
Like when you're playing like a video game and you get to the end of where they coded it, you just got like bump into this invisible wall.
Stops rendering.
Or do you come full circle?
Yeah.
It is kind of mind-boggling.
Because like our Earth has limits, right? Like the second you leave Earth, you're not, well, I don't know.
And then you start thinking,
blowing my mind.
And then it kind of it starts to create other questions around, okay, great. So the planet's been here for 100 billion years.
No,
so then
if
what
we
came
start
before
thinking about
that?
time, I can't.
What came before that?
See, time is this for me when I think of like, does time end? And like, if nothing's around to notice stuff, does it exist? Like that whole tree in the woods thing.
Did you see Interstellar?
No,
which
you've
is all
asked me
about
that
time.
before.
It's all about time, right? So
I get
really
caught
interesting.
in loops of thought about this too. Like, where do things end? And if they don't end, like, yeah, I don't know.
It's so bizarre. Yeah, so I completely can relate to that. And I actually...
This is why there's aliens out there, David.
No, stop.
It's true.
Oh,
you mean to tell me there's infinite space and no other people?
There has to be people out there.
From
Not
Melmac?
people. There has to be some other life form. We already had this conversation with Alf.
I will talk about this till the day I die.
I told you, when we find alien life form, it's going to be microscopic.
No, they're going to look
It's
exactly
gonna be
like Alf.
Like an algae or a bacteria. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Well,
this is hurting my brain. Like, I need an ibuprofen.
No, you need tequila shot.
That is ibuprofen.
Yeah. So I totally get that. But now I'm like, I had not thought about that in a while. Now I'm kind of getting all amped up about it.
It's best probably not to think about those things because there's not an answer to it, right? If something's infinite, there's no way to answer it.
This is probably how like those movements around, like we talked about yoga earlier, like being in the here and now.
Not on here. We talked about yoga together.
Yeah. So like the here and now, being here. Yeah, like the meditation. It's probably so you fuck your life up thinking about where the universe ends, right? So
no, when I've tried to meditate and go to yoga before, and they tell you like to focus on nothing, and I end up focusing on shit like that, or I focus on like Flintstones vitamins and why Betty isn't one of them. Like, that's where my mind goes during yoga.
This sounds so gross, but whenever I'm like, like you're kind of like trying to not really formally meditate, but you're trying to like calm down, I always think about farting for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's really quiet.
It's true. Like whenever you get a massage, it's like, oh, please, Lord, don't let this come out.
I always have things, we're getting off topic again, but
going from atmospheres to farting.
Well,
awesome.
The massages, like they tell you, feel free to put as much or as little on as you want. And I'm like, what? Am I weird if I'm like nudie Judy, or is it weird if I like wear a tuxedo?
I never understood wearing parts of your clothing during a massage. Is that the whole point of a massage, is to get massaged?
I feel like they don't get around your gonads, so they have wear underwear.
Don't you go through some kind of like origami folding lesson before you're a massage therapist? You know how to fold the cloth?
I feel like they sneak a peek.
No, they do not.
I feel like sometimes they sneak a peek.
Well, would you if you were a massage therapist?
Maybe.
Okay. I could never be a massage therapist because I'd be like, I don't mind being massaged, but being the massager would kind of freak me out, I think.
Oh, yeah, because there's people you don't want to touch and you have to do it. And
then
you probably feel used.
Turn them away.
Yeah, we're getting from the universe to massages.
Massages. Sorry, Lindsay. Well, she's listened to the podcast. Obviously, she knows kind of what our approach is.
There's got to be like a scientist who is... Everything has to have an end, right?
I don't know. This is the whole point. This is why it makes me so anxious. Like what? I mean, and the Hubble telescope is getting more and more sophisticated, right? And what they're able to look at and what they're able to reach. And think about 10 years from now, the sophistication that will in the technology, and we'll be able to see even deeper into the universe.
I'm thinking of like the Big Bang Theory, and if there's a finite number of elements and molecules, then it has to have an end, right?
Well, you've heard about like dark matter.
Does space have molecules, or is that what space means? That there's no molecules in there?
I don't know.
Like, is there like gases in space?
Of course, there's gases in space.
Are there, or are they contained to the planets?
Oh, I see. You mean are they housed in the atmosphere of individual planets, or are they free flowing?
Right. Like if I'm like Sandra Bullock and I take off my mask, I know you die, but is there a gas there?
I don't know.
Is it going back to farting?
Is it just nitrogen?
If Sandra Bullock farts in space, can anyone hear it?
Can anybody hear it? God.
George Clooney's far gone.
No, but I want to go back to dark matter. Have you heard about dark matter? Like where it's like antimatter?
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that.
I mean, I'm probably, this is non-scientific. This is my own sort of naive interpretation.
You mean you're not a physicist?
No, I'm not, Kevin. I know. It's shocking.
Loser.
But I'm not sure when I read this, but where much like an atomic bomb, where you could actually design a weapon that turns matter into antimatter, and it could like literally suck the entire planet into this hole in a split second.
That's comic book stuff,
No,
right?
It's real.
Dark matter.
Look it up. Dark matter or antimatter or something like that. Yeah, it's like it turns.
You're gonna be a great supervillain.
Oh my
someday.
God, it's so scary. At any moment.
Well, no one's obviously gotten their hand on any yet because we're all still here.
How do you know what's happening in laboratories?
Because I'm still alive, David.
Oh God!
How can you hold it if it sucks everything in?
No, it's probably in some laboratory in some vial or something.
But what I'm saying is, if it sucks everything in, why isn't it sucking the vial in?
You might have to do. It might have to need a trigger or something
Just like an antimatter holder.
Yes,
Jesus.
It's like some like atomic chamber or something. I'm dead serious. Look it up.
I need you to think about that though. If dark matter can suck an entire universe into, it can suck a glass vial into itself.
Kevin, it probably needs something to initiate it, like a spark or some kind of like a
code
trigger.
word.
Code word, yeah.
Pineapple.
Like, the password is.
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't want to think about that.
I know. And like black holes.
Sun flares, those are scary.
Those are real though.
I know they're real.
And they can like wipe out the entire your entire like cell phone network or satellite networks.
That's what you're concerned about? I thought we were concerned about humanity.
No, I need internet all the time. It was torture in Cuba with those 4 days without decent internet. I don't
know. Thanks, Lindsay, for making me think about this. I try not to have these thoughts because I get in a never-ending cycle of the worst thing for me is the not knowing of something. Like I need a finite answer for something, otherwise I get obsessed with it and I think about it all the time.
If you had an opportunity,
unsolved murders, same thing.
Oh yeah,
I need an answer.
Yeah,
Jean Benet.
Missing persons. I mean, yeah, that shit freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a question for you. If you
They're all in space.
If you had an opportunity, let's say that conceptually speaking.
Mm-hmm.
They
Richard
find
Branson.
They find a planet that has life form on it,
Yep.
right? And they have technology to reach that planet in a spaceship. And
Yep.
so they were taking like volunteers. Would you volunteer to do that?
Deuces, I'd be out. I'd go.
You'd go?
Yeah.
You would?
Absolutely.
I probably wouldn't.
Why not?
I get homesick.
There's a little more people that I dislike than I like.
Oh my god!
So if I could bring people with me, or I have to go by myself.
And can you bring?
Why are you making the rules in this
Can
scenario?
you bring like your laptop and like it wouldn't work probably? Oh my god!
They have way better technology at this point.
They probably do. Yeah, we'll probably like so ridiculously incompetent, but I probably wouldn't go. I've actually thought about that. It's like like if they were repopulating Mars, because Earth was like disintegrating, I'd probably just
put
stay
your
on Earth.
thoughts towards things that are actually happening now.
Like this podcast. This
episode. Like, wait, you're actually spending time contemplating whether or not you would go to another planet?
Yes.
It's not going to happen in your life.
I think about that all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Kevin,
you
we're
need an
pretty
adult
young.
coloring book.
We have a good runway of life ahead of us. I think anything's possible.
I like the way you said that. A runway of life. Like we're like our life is
that
RuPaul's Drag Race.
In my consulting work, I use I have these catchphrases. I use like runway and glide path.
Yeah, you're
people
not
are very
fooling anybody.
Yeah, they're like, we still hate you.
We get it. You're good.
Well, again, Lindsay, thanks for writing it. I'm not sure I'll be able to let go of that topic now. I'm all stressed out about it, but yeah.
Much like the universe, the things that stress us
if,
out
if
are
folks
infinite.
actually have an answer to that, please let us know. Write in, and we want to solve this mystery.
Yeah, I'm sure some NASA physicist is going to take the time to stop and answer our questions about, is the universe infinite?
How do you know?
I don't know. I feel like if they have time to listen to podcasts, then... well, maybe they've already solved that answer.
Don't you think scientists are more apt to be anxious? Because they know about all the possibilities of what could happen.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you work for the CDC, you must kind of always be on edge, right?
I applied for an internship there when I was in graduate school.
That is the worst thing for you. Why?
Yeah, I know. It was the thing. Everybody was doing it. And, I was going to research mosquitoes because I was specializing in infectious diseases.
Oh, that you would
talk about gravitating towards your biggest fears.
That's like a mouse working in a cat factory.
Oh my god! I told you, I was convinced I had Ebola when the whole Ebola broke out in Africa. I hadn't even been to Africa before, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dying.
Also, I just realized there's no such thing as a cat factory.
A cat factory?
I don't know why I said that.
That's weird.
Did they grow cats in a factory?
Well, keep the emails coming. Thanks so much for listening. You can always reach us terrifyinglybeautiful@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we're on social media, Twitter and Instagram.
Terrifyingly B.
And great. Awesome.
The universe is out there, David.
Alp.
It's up to you to find it.
I have all the answers.
Yeah.
Antimatter.
The universe doesn't end, but this anxiety
My life
does.
will.
Bye.